So hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today my friends, I'm very happy to be here to present you another build guide on Path of Exile, and this one is very special because it is, I don't know if it's my favorite build so far, but how it works and how you can min-max and yeah, all about this build. I would even say it is my favorite. I really love it, and that's why I'm playing it since the start of the league, and I want to go beyond. Okay, why am I doing already a first build guide about it? Because yeah, many people were coming over to our stream on Twitch because they said they saw our YouTube video about Delph, and I was using this build, and many people got curious and asked a lot of questions about it. So I took the decision already to make a first video about it. I mean, before we start, I am not the creator of this build, okay? I'm not saying that I am the guy that invented this build, okay? I'm gonna put like the YouTube of the creator of this build under the video description. If you want, you can go and check, okay? But I adapted it. Like I am using another skill, for example, Shock Nova, he is not using, and so on. Also with the belt, but I'm gonna talk about it later in this video, okay? But what I can say is I'm really in love with this build, okay? Delving is amazing with this build. I mean, I'm at almost 1000 depth. I'm around 950 right now. Okay, I'm gonna go for the leaderboard on POE Ninja. You will see my name very soon, okay? This build can make it easily over 1000 and more, okay? And even more if we min-max. Why am I saying the first version of this build? It's not min-maxed, and it doesn't have Mage Blood. At the moment, I'm going for the Mage Blood, okay? I'm heading towards the Mage Blood, and as soon as I have the Mage Blood, I will min-max everything out of this build, and then I'm gonna make a final build guide about it, okay? But at the moment, let's say we are at 100 divines invested into this build, okay? It feels really amazing, okay? I mean, you can hear it. I am very in love with this build. I mean, this introduction is one of the longest of any build guide that I have made, but I'm so excited to present you how it works and everything, my friends. So, as always, we start with the pros and cons. We go to the skill gems after that, then the gear and flask. Then we are going to talk about the skill tree and remainings, how I play it, and gameplay tier 16 map. I will put some delirious on it, okay? Not too much because of the FPS, but this build can make 100% or do 100% delirious without any problem. Okay, and don't forget, I'm gonna put also the POB under the video description so that you can like copy it and check it as you please and take your time. So my friends, let's go for the pros and the cons. So my friends, we are gonna start with the pros and the cons of this build, and we are starting with the pro. I mean, the biggest pro of this build is the tankiness of this build, okay? As you can see, we are sitting around 16,473 shield and 13,240 mana. Why am I talking about the mana also when I'm talking about the tankiness? If we read what our coruscating elixir does, and it's up like 95% of the time, chaos damage taken does not bypass energy shield during effect, and we have our ivory tower that does chaos damage is taken from mana before life, so it has to go through 13,000 mana plus 16,000 so that we die from chaos damage, okay? And then you have all the other things, but as you can see, 16,000 shield, it is really amazing, and it feels amazing. I tell you, you can tank a lot of things at around 1000 depth in mines, and if you have ever tried to go deeper in mines with any other build, you will understand me when I tell you that it is tanky even there, okay? So we can tank like almost everything. You almost never die on maps. Normally you never die, okay? Then what is also very nice about this build, it is the DPS. Okay, the DPS, we are sitting at the moment at around 50 to 60 million DPS. It is very, very nice. I mean, don't forget it. It's very tanky also. So there are not many builds that can bring out so much DPS with so much tankiness, to my knowledge. Then, when we talk about costs of this build, I will put it to the pros. I mean, at the moment, I'm sitting on 100 divines, okay? For 100 divines, I'm pretty sure you can just copy this build, okay? 100 divines, and you can go over 1000 depth in mines, you can do all of the bosses, okay? You can farm even 100 delirious maps. I think it's very nice. And Simulacrum, I didn't try, but I'm pretty much sure you can do the 30 waves. Okay. And then if we talk about the cons, if I have to tell you one con, it would be that we are relating pretty much on our flasks. Okay. So if we are out of flasks, it's a problem. Okay. I fixed it a bit. Okay, with gain of flask charge when you deal a critical strike, as you can see here, that fixes a lot. I mean, when we are mapping, when we are mining and everything, you will be always full of your flasks. The problem is with the longer fights, the bigger fights. I say against the Crystal King, against all the bosses that you encounter in mines or any other bigger boss. If it's too long, you will at a moment be out of flasks, and that's a problem. Okay, first of all for your tankiness and also for your DPS, because we need our mana flasks so that we have a lot of mana that we can spend with Archon Cloak and have the boost of DPS, but we are going to talk about it in a later section of this video. So as you can see, there are big bros. One little con: if you play this build right and you have a bit of practice in it, then you have no con at all, my friends. So, and now we are gonna talk about the skill gems. So my friends, now we are going to talk about the skill gems of this build, and this section is very important in this build, my friends. So I'm very happy we are min-maxing and squeezing out every option on this build, and that's why you will see that the skills or the skill gems are very often very special. Okay, so we are using a let's start with the Manabond level 21, quality 20, okay? If you can go for 21, 23, but we are not, like, how to say, we are not min-maxing at the moment, okay? So that's why. So 2120 at the moment with an Awakened Elemental Focus support of 520 and Awakened Lightning Penetration support of 520. On the other side, on the Squire, we are using an Awakened Increased Area of Effect support 520, a Kong effect 2120, and an increased critical strike damage, increased critical damage, sorry, support 2120. Okay, so, and on our helmet now, be careful. Anomalous while disciplined. Why anomalous? Because of the you and nearby allies have increased damage while on full energy shield. What is nice, the normal only gives us more area of effect. We don't care about that. Then we have a 2020 Tempest Shield. Divergent Clarity. Why? Because you and nearby allies have increased damage while on full mana. You will not be often on full mana, but it's better than increased area of effect, okay? And Anomalous Arrogance support. Why? Because supporter skills have increased life reservation efficiency. Very, very important. The 2020 is more than enough. 23, it's always gonna be 4% increased life reservation efficiency, so it doesn't matter. Then a 6 link we are using, and that's a difference to the creator's version. It is an anomalous shock nova. First of all, shock nova. Why shock nova? I love it because it's all around us. We can just try to avoid all of the hits of the monsters, and we are hitting them because shock nova, yeah, it hits 360 degrees. And why anomalous? Because ring shocks as if dealing 100% more damage. Perfect. Okay, the base one is, I think, 10% more damage. Okay, so it's very, very nice. Then we have awakened cast while channeling support. Okay, 520. Increased critical damage, again 2020. A divergent cyclone. Why? Because we are having more movement speed. We don't care about the damage of the cyclone. We are just cycloning for the cast while channeling. Okay, we are casting shock nova, and our damage comes from shock nova and not from cyclone. And then we have anomalous mana leech. Very important. Anomalous mana leech, not normal mana leech. Why? Because of the support skill have increased damage for each 200 mana you have spent recently. Very important, my friends. Okay, this one. And then we have anomalous calling strike support. Why? Because supporter skill deal 60% increased damage with hits against enemies that are on low life. Very, very important. So we are going for anomalous calling strike. Then on our pair of gloves, we are using an enhance, okay, level 3, if you can go for level 4, 100%. Then Arcane Surge, a normal one, 2020. A divergent Arcane Cloak. Why? Because of the increased buff effect. Very important, okay. The buff, we are using the Arcane Cloak because of the buff, pretty much also. So Divergent Arcane Cloak, don't forget, 2020, and an increased duration of 2020. So, and then on the other side, and lastly, we are using a 2020 Eternal Blessing support normal, an anomalous zealotry. Why? You and nearby allies have 2% to critical strike multiplier. Now you will say, oh, 2%, that's not much. Yes, it is much, okay? It is very important, so we are going for anomalous. The normal just gives us like increased aura, not aura effect, but area of effect. And then Assassin's Mark 2020 normal and Frostblink 2020 normal, okay? That's it. And now we are gonna talk about the gear and the flasks. Let's go. So now we are going to talk about the gear and flasks, and my friends, for the first time, before we start or talk about the gear, actually I'm going to talk about the gear, but I want to talk about how this build works. I'm gonna talk about the most important aspects of this build so that you understand it, okay? Why this build is so special and I'm so in love of this build, okay? So the most important here, it's the mana. It's all about our mana. We want a lot of mana. So we are scaling a lot of intelligence. Okay, very important because first off, we gain a lot of energy shield we get maximum mana as maximum energy shield. Okay, that's first thing. That's why we love and we want mana on this build. That's the first thing. Then secondly, why we want a lot of mana? Because of our Indigon Hubris Circlet. If you read the last line, you will read the following. Increase spell damage for each 200 total mana you have spent recently up to 2000%. So you get it right. We want as much mana as we can that we want to spend recently so that we will get a lot of spell damage. But we are not finished. We have our anomalous mana leech. If we read the last line, supported skill have 10% increased damage for each 200 mana you have spent recently. So this is global. This is gonna be for our Manabond, but our Shock Nova is gonna have those 10% plus the 25% for each 200 total mana spent recently, combined. Okay? And what is recently is the last 4 seconds, and that's where our Archon Cloak comes into the game. We use Archon Cloak, that means spend 65% of current mana, that means of 13,000, so around 8,000 mana at the moment. We will go for more min-maxing in the future, so but at the moment we are at 13,000. okay, so you can calculate how much spell damage we are getting, and we are not finished again. If we use Archon Cloak, we are using also all of our 4 flasks. Okay, so we get also more tanky, so we get more tanky here, and we get more damage because we are spending mana. So you see, that's how it works. Then when we are low on mana, that's also good. After Archon Cloak or those 4 seconds that have passed and we are missing a lot of mana, no problem. Also that is gonna be very good. Why? Because we are using Manabond. Manabond deals base lightning damage equal to 48% of missing unreserved mana. Missing unreserved mana. So my friends, even if we are low on mana, we are getting more damage. So this build is beautiful at any moment. The most important, as I said before, we want our flasks up. And then, yes, it's the next section only. We are going to talk about the tree, but I'm going to talk now about it. The most important, and that's where the game change of this build. It is those 2 jewels. Those are combined 50 divines. Allocates Rider's Providence if you have the matching modifier on Forbidden Flash. So you need those 2 with the Rider's Providence, okay, Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flash. And what is Rider's Providence, my friends? That is increased critical strike chance, like 1% critical strike chance per strength or intelligence, whatever is the lowest. So, and that's why we are scaling a lot of strength and intelligence. And at the moment, I am sitting on 1038 strength. That means plus 1038 increased critical strike chance. At the moment, if I go for Manabond, I am at the critical strike chance of 90%. Okay, and if I use Archon Cloak, I'm even at 93 critical strike chance. Okay, my friends, that is a bit global. There is much more about this build, but with the ascendancy and everything, but those are the most important aspects of this build, so that you understand why we are scaling a lot of intelligence and a lot of strength and how this works a bit. Okay, my friends, so and now we are gonna talk about the gear and the flasks. We are using a Mjolner, okay, there's not much to say, okay, you want a lot of increased critical, like increased lightning damage, that's the most important about it. The modifier, if you can go for another, like a corrupted one with a better implicit, go for it, there are many good implicits you can have. And then we right click, we have the Crucible passive skill tree, okay, I don't know if you're watching this video next week and there is still the Crucible, I don't know, but if yes, we want this, okay, +2 to level of socketed spell gems. That's beautiful, my friends, so you want that, okay, and then we have +0.5% to spell critical strike chance, and those 2 are not giving us anything. Then on the other side we have the Squire, okay, the Squire with the Crucible passive skill tree of 20% increase lightning damage, this +10 to all elemental resistance is what is really nice, okay, and then this is also nice, reduce reflected elemental damage. So with this build right now we can even do elemental reflection, okay, and then increase strength and dexterity, what is really nice. And then on our helmet We have the enchantment, very important, okay? Arcane Cloak grants life regeneration equal to 15% of mana spent per second, okay? Now you're gonna say, oh Diaz, why life regeneration? We don't care about life regeneration. No, it's not true, because our life regeneration is like converted to energy shield regeneration. I'm not gonna talk or show you where it is, but if you copy this build, it is like that, okay? It should be, if I'm not, yeah, it is here. Because of the Zealot's Oath, life regeneration is applied to energy shield instead. So we want life regeneration. Another nice aspect of this build. What is the most important of this helmet? It is the last line by far. Increase spell damage for each 200 total mana. You want that at max. Most important, my friends, okay? Then, Archon, as our body armor, we have an ivory tower, okay? With, we want the most mana and the most intelligence, 100%. Then, as amulet, my friends, we want, and always, our enchantment Primal Spirit, okay? And then we want strength, we want attributes, we want intelligence and mana. That's all, and energy shield. That's all about it, okay? It's always mana, energy shield, strength, intelligence, dexterity, because we need dexterity like around 110, I think, and then it's okay. But we want to scale a lot of strength, okay? Because of our critical strike chance, and mana, intelligence because of our mana. Don't forget about that. Then on rings, again the same, okay? Strength, intelligence, energy shield, mana, and resistances. And then on the other ring also, okay? Very important. As you see, it's always the same modifiers that we are looking for. As pair of gloves, a Shaper's Touch, 3 chaos, no problem at all, okay? You want one with max energy shield, but I went for this one because of the implicit +1 to level of socketed gems, what is really, really nice. Then as a pair of boots, again, intelligence, strength, life, mana, and then resistance and movement speed. There is not much to say. And now, very important so that our build feels good, my friends. Decision wise, okay? Strength, increase attributes, very, very nice. And then gain a flask when you deal a critical strike. You can't imagine how much this modifier right there changed for me, okay? I think the creator is not using it. If yes, and you're watching, my friend, I'm sorry if I'm saying that you're not, but I didn't see it, or maybe you're using it right now, okay? But I say this is very important, okay? And then as an eye jewel, strength, dexterity, and mana, okay? If you can go for energy shield, go also for energy shield, whatever. And corrupted blood cannot be inflicted on you. Very nice if you can get it. Okay, and then we are gonna talk about the flasks. There is not much to say. We are using a coruscating elixir, always with the used when you use a quartz skill. We are using a topaz flask with increased duration. We want always increased duration. You will see it is always like that. With increased evasion rating during effect, increased critical strike chance during effect, and increased critical strike chance during effect, okay? There it is. So a Quicksilver and the Sapphire flask, and then our mana flask. Very important. We want increased amount recovered. Then mana recovers occurs instantly at the end of effect, and it is combined the prefix tier 1 we want. Okay, very nice, because we get our mana back, plus after 7 seconds we get 3884 mana at one time, and we can like spam it. So if you click now 3 times, one after the other, after 7 seconds, it's gonna fill 3 times also. 3 times 3848. So we are clicking very often on our mana, okay? On our mana flask. And regenerate 3% of life per second during effect. Don't forget, regenerate life, it is regenerate energy shield, my friends. So that was it with the gear and the flask. And now we are gonna talk about the skill tree and remainings. Let's go. So my friends, In the skill tree and the remainings, we're gonna start with the skill tree, the ascendancy, where we go for Archon Blessing, we go for Conviction of Power, Divine Guidance, and Sanctuary of Thought. Okay, I'm not gonna go into the details why we are picking that. Okay, then we are here at the level Pride. Which one we want? The one that gives us Kaom and Karui, okay, are conquered by the Karui, okay, very important. And then we are using it on those here, okay, on those points here. We want increased strength, we want chance to deal double damage, I have it twice, very nice, and also plus 22 strength, okay. So that's a very, very nice one, okay. Now, how to know what modifier you will get, okay, while you buy a Dauntless Jewel. There are guides about it. If you want me to show you how to check that, let me know, my friends, then I will make a video if you don't know it, okay. So that's the Leather Pride right there. Then we have a Cobalt Jewel, where, as you see, strength, intelligence, critical strike multiplier, and mana. Okay, here we talked already about it. Okay, we have a large cluster jewel, 3 times the same. Okay, 3 times we are using it. One with increased lightning damage, and we have prismatic heart, scintillating idea, and widespread destruction. Why widespread destruction? So that we are sure that the scintillating idea and prismatic heart are gonna be on this position, okay, but we are not taking widespread destruction, okay. And then we have our Forbidden Flash with Rider's Providence, very important, and on the other side the Forbidden Flame with Rider's Providence. Those jewels are the game changers of our build, okay. Those, yeah. And then you copy the tree. As you can see here, we have our Watcher's Eye with critical strike, penetrate 10% of enemy elemental resistance while affected by Zealotry, and on the other side gain 10% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield while affected by Clarity. Very nice jewel right there, okay. And then you copy, and here we have a Megalomaniac, okay. The most important is the Will Shaper, I would say, and the Storm Drinker, very important. As you can see, lightning damage leech as energy shield, so that's our leech, okay. And then we have Improviser. Why? Because of the increased maximum mana, but we want the Storm Drinker and Will Shaper. Those are the most important. Then you can check which third you can get. And yeah, here we have an Healthy Mind with 20% increased maximum mana. There's not much to say. And Impossible Escape, my friends. Why? So that we can take those points without allocating or spending much points. Okay, very, very important. And then, yeah, here we are using again a large cluster jewel, just like here, okay, where we use Split Personality with Strength and Intelligence twice, okay, 2 times, 3 divines each. And that's it, okay. And then the remainings, the Pantheon, we are using a Soul of the Brine King, okay. There's I don't have to tell you why, okay, you can read it. And then we have Soul of Aberrat. Why? Because of the Burning Ground, what is really nice, my friends. So, and now we are gonna talk about how I play this build. So, my friends, how we play this build, actually very simple. We start by activating Zealotry, activating Clarity, Tempest Shield, and Discipline. That's it. Then on our left click I have my move only, middle mouse button nothing, right click Frostblink, Wall Discipline, very important. Our Wall Discipline is like our second life, my friends. Whenever you see that you are about to die or something is very rippy, we will use our Wall Discipline and you will not die for the next 3 seconds. Then Arcane Cloak on W, Cyclone, and Assassin's Mark. Assassin's Mark, I'm not using it very often, only on big bosses, okay? So how we play it, actually we go around, okay? And whenever we are going into a pack of monsters, we use Arcane Cloak and we Cyclone. okay, and that's it, okay. And we use mana flask every 3 seconds, I would say, okay, so that we get our mana back, okay, so that we can use again Archon Cloak. Archon Cloak, you can use it even if you have only 1 mana, okay, but we want as much mana. If you can time it that you use your mana flask and when it's full, your mana, and you reuse Archon Cloak, then it's perfect, okay. Don't forget that we want to have less mana, like we want a lot of missing mana because of our mana bond, but we want also on the other side to spend a lot of mana recently because of the increased spell damage. Okay, don't forget about our helmet and our anomalous mana leech. So if you can time that, like that you use Archon Cloak, and when your Archon Cloak is again ready to use and you are full on mana to reuse it, perfect, okay. If you practice this build, you will become better, okay. But we are talking about min-maxing and playing perfectly, and that's only important after 1000 depth and stuff, because until there you kill everything, no problem, okay. So that's how we play it. We cyclone around, and whenever we are almost to die, we use our wall discipline, Assassin's Mark if we need it against any big boss, and Frostblink, yeah, I don't need to explain why. Okay, my friends, and now we come to the most important section, gameplay. Let's go. So, my friends, now we are gonna run this cemetery map with 60% Delirious first off, and then we are gonna do like this guy right here, okay, Polaric Invitation, so that you can see how much DPS we send out, okay, so that you can compare it maybe to your build, okay, but this is gonna be a fast one. So we start with the map. So 60% Delirious. I'm not going for 100% because otherwise this video is gonna be unwatchable, okay. So we use Archon Cloak, and then we go just around. Ooh, a boss, perfect. So you can see the power. As you can see, he goes down like nothing. Let's take this. Okay, I'm not gonna pick up only like a swing while I'm showing you this build. We need sulfate for our mining. That's why I'm going for it. But as you can see, we use our mana flask and Archon Cloak whenever it's up, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. And cycloning around, and sometimes using Frostblink. The Essence monster with 60% Delirious, with already a few. Oh, sorry. Yeah, but that was the meteor. Okay. That was the meteor from the altar. That was pretty much my bad. They hit like a truck. Oh, let's pick this up. But anything else you see, it's not a problem at all for our build. And now the boss. Oh, forgot the Archon Cloak. Now we used it. Let's take this shield for Crucible. But it's okay, I have 140 DPS. I could have done 100% Delirious, actually. My bad. But you see, I mean, we have no problem with 60%. It's not gonna be a problem with 100%. This build can make everything. Oh, another boss. Look how fast he goes down. We have a lot of DPS. And look how tanky we are. Okay, we died to the meteor, but the meteor, like, hits like a truck, okay? But if we pay attention a little and not like Diaz plays, then you shouldn't die. And if we are lucky, we will have also like an harvest boss. Let's see this. Maybe. Let me clear this. Life Force. Pretty much needed. I'm clearing a bit for you. So that you see all the strength about it. About this build. Oh, forget it. Let's not waste any time on this. Okay, the yellow we do very quickly. Okay, I think we cleared it. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, should be good. Ah, yes, the Crucible. So that you see how fast it goes down. 100%, huh? Okay. Let's go. So 3, 2, 1. Oh, fuck. Okay. That was again the meteors. Ah, okay. You should try to avoid them, huh? And there it goes. Okay, we died twice, but that was because of the meteor. Okay, so as you can see, easy. And now we are gonna do this Polaric Invitation very quickly. Without any modifier, so you can compare it maybe to your own build. So you can check how many seconds. So this and 3, 2, 1. There we go. So, I mean, I was not like lying when I said that the DPS is just fine, and you can see it's very tanky. Okay, I died 2 times, but that was because of the meteor. But it is also very, very rippy. Okay, so my friends, that was it with this build guide. I hope it was not too long. I think it is very long, but yeah, I mean, I had to make a video like that about such a beautiful build as this one. Okay, I'm very, very in love with it. Okay, and we are gonna go, as I said at the beginning of this video, for the Mage Blood, and then we are gonna make a second video where we min-maxed a lot about this build. Okay, so if you want to follow my progression, don't forget to follow on Twitch. Anything else, if you want to see more videos on YouTube, Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, to comment, and yeah, stay safe, my friends. I hope to see you maybe also doing this build and see us around. So bye bye, my friends, love ya, and stay safe. Bye.